very difficult to do.
As long as you're not in the popularity contest.
Then, but it's funny that you say that, but it seems like that's become
The norm.
the norm.
Exactly.
All right.
And it shouldn't be.
Growing up here, I'm from Killeen. I mean, you know, you used to see certain people who are in the city council, and we didn't think too much of it, especially when I'm younger, because you're like, oh, well, the street's named after that person, and that's not shooting negatively against those people because they've been here for so long, they own everything. But but it's one of those deals that now that I'm grown, I have kids of my own. It's a struggle to take care of my own finances, so I know that it's got to be even bigger responsibility for the city. But we've got to come to some type of consensus to where a city like Killeen, who has so much potential to be able to be prospering, where we're not worried about our departments, we're not worried about our streets, we're not worried about bringing in businesses and stuff like that to help keep the city going. You know, one of the biggest things has been, you hear about other cities, oh, they have a big factory, they have something, big business to help support what's been ours, Fort Hood. You know, that's what's always been told to me. We have Fort Hood here, you know, and that's been kind of like our big business. Well, everybody can't work on Fort Hood.
Amen.
All right? So we've got to do something to make sure everybody is. I like what you're saying. You know, I don't like to look at what everybody else is saying about somebody. I like to develop my own opinion and then make my own informed decision. And I'll vote for who I want to vote for, regardless of whatever group I may be in or a member of.
You're a true independent.
Yeah, and that's what it's got to be.
And that's all we ask anybody to do, ever. Be informed, make your decision based on what you feel.
Gotcha. But like I said, I appreciate this. I saw you on a Facebook post from somebody else that I know. I was like, I want to go see what
And I appreciate you coming, thank you very much.
So I don't know what the answer is, but I hope that we get it together. You know, I ain't going nowhere. I work for the city, so I plan on staying here. I got my kids, my daughter's not with me. I ain't going nowhere. So I just hope that we plan right moving forward.
But you hit it on the head. You talked about being informed, talking to those around you, and not just taking their opinion because they're your friend. It goes back to doing your due diligence, and you hit the nail on the head with repeating that, because that's exactly what it's about. It's up to every one of us to make that difference and that choice when it comes to the voting booth.
Can I just say one thing too? This is my personal opinion. I feel very sad sometimes for not just the city of Killeen, any city that does this. Like you said, 1,000 people can elect them. These city council meetings, unless they're a closed workshop, if I'm correct, are open.
Yes.
Do you see people coming to it? No.
Few.
If enough people came to it to voice their opposition to something, or and to ask questions, they wouldn't be able to just pass anything. I mean, you know, the thing is, and stuff is online and people don't read it. You know, we as a community should also try to get people to be a little bit more informed. As far as businesses in this town, there are enough restaurants that are always packed. I mean, they all are always packed. But we do need some. I mean, Fort Hood does business. I mean, you've got technology. I mean, you know, people say you need an education. We have 2 universities here. All right, they're not getting a job here because we don't have anything for them to work here. So they go to Austin, they go to Dallas, where there are technical, you know, Fort Hood is a big base, but they also don't necessarily need a factory, but there are plants that make parts, there are companies that they buy from that we could be courting, there are technology companies that we could be courting, which would elevate the incomes of the people here and keep these people that are going to Texas A&M and the other, you know, City College, and keep them here instead of having them go somewhere else.
All right, well, with, any other questions real quick? Yes, sir.
I think, I like where you're going. We do need the technology, and everybody has to get on Fort Hood. Been here a long time. I've worked there for many years, watched the various different rifts throughout my tenure there. During the height of 9/11, you saw a lot of defense,
Uh-huh.
industry came in here. But soon as the war what happened?
Yep.
Here it comes.
So you need other kind of companies.
So we cannot even rely on those type of defense type industries here unless they are manufacturing stuff, not just the strictly some of the soft, green stuff. But we need some good industries. That's where I'm looking at, to come in that will pay that
Better wage,
that
benefits.
And then they also bring a tax.
and they're bringing
base.
tax base, and they
Kyle,
also,
wait a minute.
like, Mississippi say, they will invest in
And
the community. And that's really key, because we have a large base of vets here that are 100%, so even if you raise that tax base of the,
He's not telling you to be quiet about that.
if you raise that tax base of the homes, you don't still have a large portion of those people won't be paying anything because they're 100% already, so it's going to fall back on the few.
All right, we can't sustain that, we can't
You
sustain that.
can't.
I just say this one thing though, but when you talk about the bringing in businesses and so forth, going back to KDC and the chamber, when this is a question I plan on asking in our next workshop if they're there, because at the same time I called the KDC, asked for requested discussion with the KDC, and it was approved to be moved forward for discussion. So whenever they come in, but otherwise in the meantime, when you go back and look at the track record of what's been brought in, you hear the talk about, we want to bring in this is our goal to bring in this is our goal to bring in this. But the problem is, with me, and like I said, I don't just go by your words, I go by your actions. So as you talk about bringing industry and you talk about bringing commercial businesses in and so forth and all this other stuff, I hear you talking about it, but at the same time, all I see happening is houses being built.
Yeah.
And the more houses that are being built, the more land is being taken away for those potential areas. Because even in our future land use map, the area that's reserved for industry is actually out there by the old landfill. That's the area reserved for industry, and you can't really build out there. It's the old landfill. But as far as it goes, now they talk about doing some stuff off of A&M, trying to bring technology into the A&M land, the university land and things like that. And that's good, but you have college kids who will graduate, and that's it's the plan for those college kids to be able to work in this industry right here. And this plant that's maybe next to them. But the problem is, what about the rest of Killeen? And so you created something that's good, but it's within a small area catered towards a
But it's
particular.
a start.
But it is a start.
And that brings in the
Yes.
yuppies to use your bike trail.
Exactly. But now, you put that in there. Now, as far as the rest of Killeen though, because Killeen basically out south is where we're going now. But out south, one thing we have out south is this. One thing that's taking up some land out south will be the municipal utilities district.
Yeah, the mud.
Okay, that's gonna be taking out land, and then from there, we're gonna have to leapfrog over that. But they have in the contract that they can actually start a second mud on some adjacent land next to that, so we gotta leapfrog that as well. But when it comes down to it, how much land are we actually using up that's disallowing us to bring in certain types of industries? Because all I can say is this: if I'm in the mud, and as far as property tax dollars to schools, some of them will be paying property taxes to Florence because they will be in the Florence district. Now, of course, there's an agreement that can be made by Florence and Killeen to just say, hey, y'all take their tax dollars so we don't have to service them or whatever. But because Florence will have the bus come down there and get them and take them to school and so forth. But either way, if it happens or if it doesn't happen, that's where they'll be at. But if you're that far down, even into that particular district, then Georgetown is only like about 30 minutes away.
Yeah, Salado.
Yep. And so my thing is, I'm only 30 minutes away. For some people, it will be a drive down to Georgetown. And once you're in Georgetown, that's where everything gets drawn in, because now all of a sudden, Pflugerville is like 10 minutes away. Next thing you know, Austin's only like 15 minutes away. And but as far as it goes, we're trying to bring revenue back into the city, not take it out of the city, because even as I said before, the mud is going to be off of Chaparral Road, On one side of the street, you have our city limits on Chaparral Road, right across the street, you have a municipal utilities district. Now, it's been said, even by, Commissioner Fisher, and I agree with them, that MUDs are, okay, yeah, but MUDs are good for some people, for some cities, but I've never seen a MUD that's directly across the street from anybody's city limits. Direct competition for taxpayer dollars. But I'm leaving it at that though right there, but like I said, as far as actions, that back up the words. The actions have to back up the words, and right now, that's what I'm not seeing, but that's what I'm hoping for, because even as we bring all that stuff in, hopefully, like I said, we can get everything we need and catch ourselves back up. How long will it take? Don't know, but hopefully it will happen sooner than later, so we can get these guys and everybody else, get the community center back online 100% like it's been, but something needs to be done. Because
Well, there's a lot of things with the budget that obviously, we all like, we talk about police and fire obviously today, but there, like the lady had mentioned with our youth, there's a lot of things. The Boys and Girls Club gets $0 from Colleen. They provide a huge service to our city. They get $0, okay? So we can pick this thing apart a lot, but you have to have a starting point and work. You just gotta find that point and work. There seems to be no starting point. Like this gentleman talked about, give me a number that I know to work with. We gotta have a starting point. So with that, guys, we could probably talk another hour, I'm sure. But time's getting near and we need to close out, but I wanna thank every one of you guys for coming out. If you didn't, please make sure you sign in to our sign-in sheet, please. And if you get some of our literature that you have, and by all means, if you have any questions, please, send me a question, we'll try and get you answers. We wanna get you guys engaged. I appreciate all the questions today, they've been very good. And, it's important that we do what we're doing. Making people informed. Get with your neighbors, talk to them. It's a starting point. That's all it takes, no matter where. There's a book called The Tipping Point, and Colleen is at that tipping point. We need to be very careful, because once you go too far the other way, it's hard to come back. So, but it takes us as citizens are the ones that are gonna make a difference. So with that, I wanna say thank you very much for coming, and you guys have a blessed day.
oh, at the same time, please don't take our sign-in sheet. It disappeared from our last meeting.
Yeah.
No, please don't take it.
Get whatever information you get to us all. Thank you, guys.
Sorry?
Guys, thank you very much.
Oh, that was our group. Oh, that's right. Yeah, no problem at all. That was all I got there.
Ms. Bracy said, hey,
Disconnect.
we're gonna get sent.
Yeah, Nancy just messaged me. Nancy just messaged me. Caesar is very excited to help with the rifle ceremony during next festival Memorial Day ceremony on May 28th. He will recruit one Eagle Scout and one other Boy Scout during one day's Boy Scout meeting. Thank you.
So now conspiracy theory, but in lieu of her response, I'm gonna go online on one page. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, did you just, I don't think you have to jump too far.